Hello, it's February 20th, 2014. I'm David Pachuto, the Drunken Woodworker, and this is Weekly Woodworking Wrap-Up Review number 7. Today we're going to talk about power sculpting, making a mallet, cat food tables, making a marking gauge, motivation in the shop, how I learned to woodwork, getting traffic to your Etsy store, and underage drinking, and how shitty are the shitty tools from Harbor Freight. So, let's dive right in. What have I been working on? Well, I make these wood paneled sides for this Korg synthesizer. Now I get about an order a week for these. I sell them at $100 a piece. For a while I was getting like 5-6 orders a day on them when I first started making them, but that's kind of tapered down. That's where I make most of my woodworking money. Is I found something that nobody else is doing. This synthesizer comes with plastic sides, and I took mine off and made wood sides out of walnut and posted that on my blog, and that sort of caught on, and other people with the synth saw that, and I've been taking orders for that. So that does me well. I've paid for a lot of tools making these side panels for $100 a piece. I made my first bowl. As some of you know, I got a lathe a few weeks ago. Earlier this week, I got the Nova 2 Chuck. That was fun. That's my first bowl. I've learned some things. I'm gonna make more. Turn this little pencil holder, piece of plywood in there that separates the top from the bottom, and I made this little mechanical pencil out of Mirando wood. That's a beautiful dark wood. Can you zoom in on that? So that's what I did this week. Mark Spagnolo, the Wood Whisperer, posted a new video, the Power Sculpted Contemplation bench. This is a beautiful bench. This is a work of art. These are the kinds of videos that I like. Originally designed pieces, and this is just beautiful. It's out of a tiger maple. I've never done any power sculpting. I don't have an angle grinder. I think I'm gonna get one. To me, this seems like a summer project. Like, take this outside and do the power sculpting because it looks pretty messy. But check that out. I like this video. Good stuff. GarageWoodworks came out with a making a mallet video. I like this video because I want to make a mallet like this. I currently have this little carver's mallet from Blue Spruce Toolworks. Kind of expensive little booger, but it was a gift to myself. I'm beating it up pretty well. But I need one of these types of mallets for the shop. So I think I'm going to build that this week here. If I do, I'll show you guys next week. Frank Howarth made another great video. This is Snow Day, making a cat food table. He does this with his kids. Personally, I don't like kids. I don't work well with them. They're annoying, they're expensive, they're assholes. And so I don't talk to them. You might like your kids. This is a great video of a dad and his kids. They make this little cat table. It's adorable. Good stuff. Check that out. John Heisz had a video making a marking gauge. Now, there's probably a million marking gauge videos out there, but I really like the way he does it. He makes his own dowel in this video, and he makes what I really like about this is he makes a dowel maker. It's just a piece of metal and drills a hole in it, and then forces a piece of wood through there that's attached to a drill. It's a very classic way of making dowels. That's how they used to do it back in the olden days. The actual marking gauge is a washer that he puts up on his drill press and spins it to sharpen the edges. Good stuff. Clever dude. Clever dude. I like his videos. Subscribe to him. Alright, let's dive into some emails. I got a ton of emails. I had to narrow it down to my favorite this week. The first one comes from John Edwards. How did you learn to woodwork? That's a great question. I am still learning how to woodwork, and I hope all of you are still learning how to woodwork. I think it's one of those things you never stop learning. In March, next month, will be my 3-year anniversary of woodworking. Yes, it's not that long. I got hooked and I dove in and I did not let up. It has become an obsession, maybe even an unhealthy obsession. I'm a photographer, as some of you may know. 3 years ago, I was getting ready for an art show to show my photography, and I went to go get them framed, and it was going to cost $125 per photo to get framed. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I took wood shop in high school. I should be able to make my own frames. So I went out and I bought a miter saw in March of 2011. And that started the whole thing. As many of you do, you probably started searching on the internets for woodworking. And Mark the Wood Whisperer, his videos showed up first. I subscribed to his video podcast through iTunes and just started watching all his videos. All of them. Just 4, 5, 6 a day. I have him to thank. His videos have always been top-notch, well-produced. He's a really good teacher. There's a lot of well-produced woodworking videos out there, but not everybody is a great teacher. After Mark, I found Matt's Basement Workshop. I started watching all of his videos. Great stuff. You know, he's the father of woodworking podcast. So then I started buying videos. I found the Woodsmith Shop. I think it's a PBS show, and I caught an episode of that, and I was like, this is really good stuff. And so I went out, bought their entire collection of DVDs. I've learned so much from the Woodsmith Shop. This DVD collection is so valuable to me. It's really, really good stuff. They make great videos. Woodsmith Shop, it's a television show you don't hear much about, and I really wish that wasn't the case because it's really good stuff. This was my first woodworking book. It's a Taunton Press, complete illustrated guide to woodworking. I like boxes, so this is a more recent purchase, woodworking boxes. I pick up tips from that. I got Mark, the Wood Whisperer's book, Hybrid Woodworking. I'm in the middle of this. Really good stuff. It's how to use hand tools and power tools together. Besides books, DVDs, YouTube. You can learn how to do just about anything on YouTube these days. You just have to weed through all the crap that's out there and find the good stuff. I watch YouTube videos almost daily. That's why I bring you this show, because I watch so many. I'm like, oh, these are my favorite videos. Everybody should see these videos, so I curate them and I share them with you. I'm obsessed with the Woodwrights Shop. There's some borrowed copies of the new Yankee Workshop. I think you can find the entire 20-year collection of the new Yankee Workshop on YouTube. Norm is also a great teacher. Also, I went to the library. I'm in Ohio. My library, I can go on to their website and I can borrow books from any other Ohio library, books and DVDs. So I got all these DVDs and books that I bought from the library. That's a great place. Don't forget about the library. People don't go to the library anymore. There's so much good stuff. Some people go to the library just to borrow movies and stuff. There's also books there. You can learn from the library. Go to the library. I'm still learning. I've gone to the last 2 WIA conferences. That's Woodworking in America, put on by Popular Woodworking. Love taking those classes there. I take more of the art classes, like the marquetry and carving and all that. I want to really get into the art of woodworking. David Marks stuff. You want to see some artful woodworking? Buy David Marks DVDs, even though they're crazy expensive. They're really, really good. Alright, so that's how I got into it. Boom. Next email. Can you share any tips on how to deal with lack of motivation when it comes to getting busy in the shop? Greg. Well, Greg, last June I wrote a blog article titled In a Woodworking Rut? Get out of it quick with these 10 tips. I'll put a link to that article down below. Some of the things I talk about. Build a small project that can be finished in a day. Sometimes it's really hard to dive into a piece of furniture or a cabinet or something because you know it's going to take you the next 3-4 weeks to build. That could be a big wall in your motivation. So go build something that only takes a day. And when you finish that, you get that accomplishment, that really good, juicy feeling of, ah, yeah, I did that. Practice some techniques. Sometimes I get bored, I just go cut some dovetails, and every time I do it, I get better and better and better. You're not motivated? Go make a jig that you know you're going to use. Make a picture frame crosscut jig. Make a tenon jig, a shooting board. Just make a jig that you don't have that you know you're going to need in the future. Sharpen everything in your shop. Once all your hand tools are sharpened, you just can't wait to use them, and that's a good motivator. Clean up your shop. A messy shop is a big brick wall in your motivation. My shop was a mess a couple weeks ago. I cleaned it a couple weeks ago, and now I come down here, I'm like, oh, this is so beautiful. I can't wait to make something. Calibrate your tools. Set up your joiner, set up your planer or your table saw. Once you know that they are in top calibration and they are working in fine, perfect order, you can't wait to use them. So calibrate your tools. That's another tip. So thanks, Greg. I am 16 years old and I have been woodworking for about a year now. I make anything from pens to furniture. I have a few local customers, but I recently opened an Etsy shop. It has been up for 2 weeks and I have received 1 view. Do you have any tips on improving my shop to get more traffic? Riley. Riley is 16. Riley is watching The Drunken Woodworker. Riley, I hope you're drinking a soda while you're watching this. That's a great question, by the way. The great thing about Etsy is it's not just a store to sell stuff. It's also a community. As an Etsy user, you can find other Etsy sellers and you can like their page. You can become friends with them. So then when you log into Etsy, you see their feed. So what you got to do is you got to treat it like any other social media site, and you got to go in and you got to find sellers you like, and they'll show up in your feed. And once they see that you like them, you might show up in their feed, and it's this community. So it takes work. Get involved in the community on Etsy. That's my first tip. My next tip is, because when somebody logs into Etsy and they see a feed of stuff that they like, that means you have to keep putting up new items to sell. Don't put up 20 items in one day and then just step back from it. What you should do is every day or every other day put up a new item, so those items are showing up in other people's feeds. That's one way to get more traffic to your page. They sell premium ad spots on there. I bought ad spots on Etsy a couple times, and it's helped me sell at work. So I spend $5 to $10 on an ad, and I sell a box for $125. It pays off. And just like anything else, the biggest thing you can do is share your Etsy page on Facebook or Twitter or Tumblr, whatever social media you're using. Every time you post something new, share that with your friends and your followers. Riley, I hope that helps. I hope you're enjoying that soda, and I can't wait for you to turn 21 and drink with the rest of us. Thanks for the shop tour. From the looks of it, you're in your basement. What are the advantages and disadvantages of having a basement shop? Big advantage is it doesn't reach 100 degrees here in the summertime. Stays fairly cool. Big disadvantage, gets pretty darn cold here in the wintertime. Tracking sawdust up into the house. I have carpets over by my stairs I use to try to get all the dust off my feet. Another disadvantage is my entire basement is not a workshop. The other half of the basement is an area where my band practices, and then there's the laundry area. Dust seems to get over there and land on stuff. Pisses off my band members and whatnot, but hey, screw them. Alright? Screw them. They don't want to play the chords that I want them to play. They can get dust on their shit, you know what I'm saying? So I have some air filtration. It helps a lot. I have dust collectors on all my tools, and that helps a lot. So dust gets everywhere around the house. I wish I had a garage workshop. I could just open up the door and just turn on some fans and get all the dust out of there. But I don't. I'm in a basement, and I'm lucky enough to have a pretty decent sized basement. That's what I got for you, Travis. Thank you for the email. Hi, David. I like your show. Thanks for doing the videos. Question. In your shop tour video, I noticed you have a lot of tools from Harbor Freight. Do you like their tools? Would they hold up to daily usage? Chris. Harbor Freight. I bought a lot of Harbor Freight tools when I first got into it because that's what I could afford. I got so many questions about Harbor Freight tools, and so I know you guys are also buying them, and you see how cheap they are. They're half the price of a Jet or a Grizzly. The big problem with Harbor Freight tools is there's not the quality control that the bigger companies have. As a spindle sander leaves their factory, some may be good, some may be bad. You're going to have that. That's one way for them to cut corners and save money. Another way is materials. I've bought some plastic clamps from them. They don't last. They break. I will never buy another plastic clamp from Harbor Freight. I have a 12-inch disc sander from them. I like it. It works great. It's worked for 2 years now. Never gone bad. Except the table is aluminum, and it's not very heavy. So on bigger pieces, when I'm sanding on there, it kind of vibrates. So I wish the table was cast iron. So they cut corners. But my dust collector is great. That's one of the best deals I've ever got from Harbor Freight. I've had good luck. If you read on forums and comments elsewhere, you'll see people don't have the same luck as me. They can be pretty shitty. You take a chance. That's all I got to say. Now that I make a little bit of money selling some things, I try to buy more quality tools. My table saw, I bought a year ago, I bought a new saw stop table saw. My idea was when buying that saw, that would be the last table saw I ever buy. Same with my Grizzly bandsaw. That's going to be the last 14-inch bandsaw I ever buy. Hopefully that lasts me the rest of my life. Thank you for your email. You want to help me out? You want to support the show? Please share this video on Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and your Snapchats and all that. Sharing the video helps me get more viewers. The more viewers I get, the more questions I get, and the better the show is for everybody. So please share. If you want to help me, please share. Be sure to email me more questions to david@drunkenwoodworker.com. I do respond to emails. Help me improve this show. Send me emails saying, hey, David, this is what we'd like to see in the show. I think next week I'm going to do a little bit called Tips and Shit, where I'm just going to show you a quick little tip. Send me suggestions. What do you want to hear from me? I will take all those emails into consideration. So please send me suggestions on what I can do. I do have t-shirts for sale. We are almost out. I am out of extra large and 2XLs. All we have left is small, medium, and large. And once they're gone, they're gone. I'll probably move on to another design. I have lowered the price to $14 to try to get rid of the small, mediums, and large. I got some questions about this little bottle. It's a beer bottle opener, a little mini wood plane. I bought a handful of these. I'm going to give these away. It's going to be at random. If you want your chance to win a free bottle opener, share the video, go to drunkenwoodworker.com/beer and fill out the comment form. Tell me how you shared the video, and that will put you in the pool, your chance to win this bottle opener. So I'm going to give one away every week for the next 5 weeks. Thank you for watching. I will see you next week. Stay passionate, make stuff. Thank you. Have a good week.
To keep up with me, subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Facebook, Google+, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr, Instagram, and Etsy. And be sure to check out my website at drunkenwoodworker.com.